Welcome to the 1 to 9 podcast for interesting insights and knowledge from animals and other beings within multidimensional realms.
Well, hello, Diana.
Hello, Karin.
Here we are today with a very special guest.
Yes, very special.
It's H2O.
H2O, yes, which is actually everywhere.
Pretty much.
It's in the air.
I wouldn't say everywhere. I don't know if
it's everywhere. It's in our bodies. It's in the air. It's in the food we eat. It's in whatever we drink. It's in the earth.
I don't know. My head went right to plasma and dark matter, and I thought, well, there's more dark matter than
humans and animals
in earthly things.
Yes.
Okay, all right, still.
Although you have a good point, though, beings or whatever we're going to be calling them now. Is there H2O in them?
We don't know. Just to start us off, we have a couple different vessels of H2O in this water form in front of us. We've got 2 glasses of tap water, one on some inspiring words and one not. And we've got a bottle of frozen Avion. And then we've got 4 glasses of water from a spring in Pennsylvania, in Reading, Pennsylvania. We drove up to get water from the spring. So it's technically local, semi-local spring water to us here in Washington, D.C. And we've got one in a art glass, and one in a small vessel over some inspiring words, one plain and one surrounded by some images of flowers from my flower feasting. And then we've got about 45% of H2O in the air around us. And what percentage of water do we have in our bodies, or H2O?
I don't know, but I would think it's more than 45%. That's what I would be thinking.
I think it's 60% in general.
There you go.
I wonder if it's less for people who are dehydrated.
Is it equivalent to, the water to dirt ratio of the earth?
This is where having an Alexa sitting here in the podcast with us might come in very handy.
Yeah, are we just sort of like a microcosm of the earth, the composition of us?
Oh,
humans.
Well, I think you are, if you break it down into oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and what's the fourth one? The fourth base, carbon. If you break it down into the 4 basic elements, what's in Earth? Because everything's made pretty much from those 4 elements, except for maybe the dark matter.
Dark matter is in the cosmos somewhere.
I don't really know, because they have found, the little vibrating light photon type things have space in between them. That's dark matter, and it's everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
On a quantum level,
right,
or Corky level, or whatever level. So I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
And if it does, maybe someone can answer the question for us that's here today.
Right.
Now, do we need to bring in an expert multidimensional being to help facilitate this conversation?
I think there's water sprites here already, but they're
water sprites. Okay,
they're probably not that knowledgeable. And there's some Reiki guides here too.
Reiki guides?
Yeah, because they seem to be interested in the transformative capabilities of water.
Right. I just spent 4 days swimming in the ocean, and I honestly feel like that's so transformative. It's not even unmeasurable benefits. Just swimming in the ocean, your sinuses clear up instantly. Your sores and cuts not that I had many of those, but they can clear up pretty much instantly, and the joy you feel.
Yeah, so that's why the Reiki guides are here, because they're interested in that. But we don't have any seawater here. So.
No, we don't have any seawater. That would have taken a little more preparation on our part.
Right.
But we can call it in as a essence to be here with us if we want.
That's true, yeah. Uh-huh.
Does seawater want to be with us? And there's seawater, which is full of salt, and then there's,
lake water
and river water and spring.
Okay, yeah, they're both coming in here, yeah.
So lake water and seawater is coming in. What about river water?
Well, lake water and river water are kind of the same.
They're related, okay. So we're talking about fresh water and salt water here.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
and then commercial water.
Commercial water wants to be in on it too?
Well, we already have some commercial water here.
Right. But that's actually not specifically commercial water because Avion is supposed to be spring water bottled.
Right. I guess what I mean by commercial water is kind of like processed water.
I have a bottle of smart water. Do you want me to bring that out?
Well,
that's processed.
I meant tap water is also processed.
Oh, we have that. Okay.
Yeah.
That in the form of tap water.
Yeah.
Right. That's probably very similar. All right. Awesome. Yeah, I was always curious about smart water anyway. So here we are. You know, one of the really, I mean, I'm not exactly sure where to start, but one of the things that's very interesting is, you know, that when we humans are discovering other planets, the first thing we look for is there water? Is there water on the Earth? Because we tend to surmise that without water, there's no life.
There's no human life.
No, we think no life.
No carbon-based life forms.
Right, right. And we're not talking about multidimensional life, because that can take any form, probably. Right. So yes, nothing made from the four elements. If water isn't present, nothing else can be present.
Right.
And I don't know if that's true or not. Can you... Physical presence. I think we're talking about like a physical presence, living, breathing presence, or living presence of some kind. Can the water tell us if that's true?
Yeah, that's true.
Here, but elsewhere too, in all the other multi-cosmic potentials.
So I'm not. Am I understanding your question? Is it? Does life need water? Is that what you're saying?
Any kind of life, anywhere. Like the life we know needs water. We've established that, and they agreed with us. But is there another type of physical life that doesn't need water?
Yes.
It's got some other elements altogether?
Yes.
Okay.
Do they know where it is? No, not really. They're here.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, they're not really saying anything too much about that.
Okay, no problem. But they answered the question.
Yeah.
They just aren't elaborating.
No, right.
So can I ask them just a silly follow-up question?
Yeah.
Is there water? Was there water on Mars?
Yeah, it's like it's frozen.
Okay, so there is frozen water up there.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, but I guess what they're saying is like, just because there's water or frozen water doesn't necessarily mean there's life.
Right. Or was life at one time.
Yeah, right.
So life, as we know it, needs water, but water does not necessarily need life.
Right. Water's got its own energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. So what does keep water alive?
The same thing that keeps everything else alive.
Well, define that.
Okay. It's like wherever you think energy comes from.
Okay, so they need energy. So sometimes we think of alive water as water that forms these beautiful crystals under microscopes.
Yeah.
And dead water doesn't really form these crystals. It's sort of fragmented and undefinable.
Right.
Do they agree with that?
Yeah, they agree with that, right? So,
okay.
I mean, they agree generally with the fact that it's like, in order for them to be them, meaning it's like different kinds of water, to be alive, they need to have that energy.
And the benefit to them being alive is that they have memory and consciousness and a life. I mean, you think of H2Os or little waters running around having a life, or is that what they mean by alive?
Well,
or thriving as a little H2O, or
they know that they're water. They know that they're themselves, right? But and they know when they feel good and they know when they feel bad. And probably molecules of really, really old water, thousands of years old, are mixed in present day water. I mean, it's always recycled,
And the water has an energy, and that energy can be a higher vibration or a lower vibration or a calm energy or a fragmented energy.
Yeah, depending on what kinds of energy they actually have to begin with, or if somebody puts in energy, or if specific circumstances have it so that they actually get more energy.
Okay. And there's a lot of cofactors in water. It's not just H2O. There's minerals in water, or the lack thereof. You've got distilled water, you've got tap water, you've got spring water, you've got mountain water. So everything has different other elements, cofactors in the water, right?
Right.
So let's look at the tap water for a second. This is DC tap water, and we've got a glass of it. How is that water's energy, like, say, on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, it thinks of itself as 3.
3? And there's a second glass of DC tap water sitting next to it that is on a little heart and with the word love.
It's saying it's a 5.
So
it increased a little bit.
It increased a little bit. Would it have increased more had the words been there longer? Or was it just an instantaneous thing?
No, it's not instantaneous, but maybe 20 minutes to half an hour, and then it kind of like reaches a limit.
Okay, of what you can do with that water.
Yeah.
So then we have a...
meaning that if it's on a little piece of paper,
mm-hmm.
and it absorbs the energy from that word.
Okay.
But there's other circumstances that could do other things to it.
Like if someone's happy around it, can some person influence it too?
Well, not necessarily just happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it gets, let's say, energy from somebody doing Reiki on it, then it'll go up.
All right, since we've already...
That's just the tap water.
So if we already measured the tap water, can we set forth some Reiki to be working on it while we're talking?
Yeah, sure.
Check back in later, see what's happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
So those two will be getting some Reiki.
But you know what? The waters actually taste different before and after being infused with energy. This is what we should have done. Okay, actually, before you set the glasses on the little pieces of paper with words on it,
mm-hmm.
we should have actually tasted that water.
We've got glasses without the piece of paper.
Oh no, that's true. We do. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So we could wait 20 minutes and see if they taste slightly different.
Right.
Okay.
They should taste different now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we can do is taste them now before the Reiki starts.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to do the taste?
Okay, I can do the taste, but maybe you should also. So
okay.
It's not just me.
All right. Go ahead and take a taste.
So I do think that just the tap water tastes different than the tap water on the paper.
Right. And I agree with you. And I'm never sure if I've, wishfully thinking, but it does. The water with the heart seems to taste a little more palatable.
Right. Exactly.
A little less chlorinated.
Right.
Or whatever.
And they've been sitting there for the same amount of time.
Pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask one last question of this tap water before my cat knocks the tap water off the table. Does tap water have anything to say in its present state to us?
We're kind of tired.
Both?
Yeah.
Does the one with the heart say, thank you for putting the heart on me to help a little bit, or does it not? It's just still tired?
It's still tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to come over here to this Pennsylvania spring water, and we've got 3 glasses, one on the heart, one plain, and one in a handmade art glass, out of glass. Is there any real difference between the 3 of them? We have one surrounded by, we have 4 glasses here. One surrounded by.
Okay, in terms of rating 0 to 10.
Mm-hmm. Let's start with the heart water.
Heart water, that's between 7.5.
Okay. The art glass water.
I don't know, 8.
Interesting, that went down a little bit. The plain spring water.
7.
And the flower feasting.
It's 7.5.
7.5. So the art glass.
That was 8.
8, solid 8. So the art glass, see, that's interesting because when I went to set this all up, I was called to bring out an art glass because I felt like there was something there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it was, the intention of making that glass was to do this thing, hold some beverages.
Or whoever was making it, so
had a very nice high vibration.
Right. I mean, it can hold anything.
And just to clarify, it was made by a friend of mine. It wasn't made by someone I didn't know. Wow, that's kind of interesting. So, do you want to taste the different?
Yeah, let's
flowers?
Taste it. What do you think?
I couldn't tell a huge difference between them.
But taste-wise, they do taste different. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the one that was in the flower book that was tasted kind of like noticeably different than the others.
Oh, it does taste different. Yeah, it's very different. It almost tastes like it's been flavored, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Oh, man.
The others still tasted pretty much like water.
Okay, I'm going to just taste some more of...
We can do a taste test.
You're right. Our glass tastes smoother.
Yeah, so it's a little smoother. So we can come back and taste them again at the end and see if they've changed even more in the energy they're in. So of these 4 little glasses here, does anyone want to say anything specific about
the glasses or the water?
Or the water. Sorry. The water in the glasses. I guess the glasses could speak too, but that's a whole nother.
Well, they're saying, okay, we think we're happier than the commercial, the tap water, right?
Oh, they are.
We're not as tired.
You're not as tired, but you're still a little tired.
A little tired. It's still a little tired, but we're certainly in better shape than the tap water. We've got a little bit more energy.
Okay. Is that because I've learned recently that this the spring water was actually put in a truck and trucked to the tap that we got it from. And I'm wondering if they could speak on this and say whether or not that degraded the experience, or if the original spring was already tired.
No, they're saying the original spring is not tired. Yeah, it's too bad it wasn't from the original spring.
Because then it would have been, a 10 out of 10, you think?
Closer to a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, not as tired.
All right. So the DC water is hovering around 3 on its own, and this water is hovering around 7 on its own.
Right.
Interesting. You want to skip over to the Avion a little bit? And it's frozen, but that came from a spring too, but it's in plastic. It came from a long ways away because we're far from the Avion Springs.
Oh, it's really cold. No, I mean inside. Okay. I'm not saying, of course it's cold, it's frozen, right? But in terms of the water sprites, right, they are kind of like their normal temperatures. The non-frozen water, their normal temperature.
Okay.
And they can move around and whatever. They can answer questions like, how do you feel? Right? Tired.
Right.
Not so tired. A little bit happier.
Right.
The Evian water, it's like whatever's in there. It's like
they're shivering.
They're shivering.
Oh, that's funny. Now, is that in part because spring water isn't supposed to be cold? Like, would an iceberg be shivering?
Well, okay.
Would snow be shivering?
No, they're saying that it's like they expect to be that.
So they don't shiver, they embrace it, the cold.
Right. I mean, if water turns to snow, right, it's not like anything unexpected for them because they know they're going to be snow.
Right, but the spring water is coming out of the ground. They're not really expecting it.
No, they're not.
And they're not really prepared.
They're not prepared. So it's like this is a kind of processing for them.
Oh.
You're transforming the...
Right.
Like
well, we know
we are transforming the water.
Right.
Somehow.
And making it shivering. And the shivering could possibly be making them tired in the end or worn out.
Well, yeah. Perhaps when it thaws out, it will regain its original. But most probably, it's been trucked from various places too.
Right.
Because where's Evian in France, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. That's like over the ocean.
It's coming from a long way away. And it's contained in plastic molecules too, which probably have their own contribution or non-contribution to the...
Yeah, in a way it's good that it's frozen because the plastic doesn't fight with the water sprites.
Oh. So plastic normally is... So if it was non-frozen, the plastic would be fighting with the water.
Yeah.
And when you say water sprites, what are you talking about? Is it like... What exactly are water sprites?
They're just these little fairy things. They're pretty small. They're like half an inch. And they're in there.
They're in the water themselves. They're like...
Yeah.
Not on top of the water, but in the water.
They're in the water, yeah. And it's not like when we drink water, we're consuming them. No.
They jump out. Where do they go?
Yeah. I don't know. They wait around for more water. Or maybe we do consume them. I don't know.
So water, in essence, what we're learning here today is the water that expects to be frozen does well when it's frozen, and the water that doesn't expect to be frozen may not be so...
Yeah.
May not be having a good time.
Right. It's not having a good time now. So.
Okay. Well, who knew, right? Who knew? So let's ask another question about the humidity in the air. We got water molecules, H2Os that are unattached, so they're not forming crystals and they're not forming what we know as water, but they're the H2O all around us. Do they have some information for us? I think we checked before we sat down and the humidity was only about 45%, which is not too bad.
Yeah, but it's still I think it's quite a lot. I mean, it indicates there's a lot of water molecules in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're basically flying around.
Yeah, they're flying around, right.
And we're breathing them.
We're breathing them, yeah. Our bodies are absorbing them.
Right through our skin, or we're exhaling them.
Right.
Adding to more. It's kind of weird, but you think about it. We're breathing them in and exhaling them back out.
Right. It's like everything's being recycled somehow.
Right.
So the water in our bodies actually goes back thousands of years.
Does it? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, the H2O molecules.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All the little necessary H2O molecules to have been made in the very beginning. So it must be that H2O gets created all the time and broken down all the time and changed around. I mean, it's hydrogen. Maybe there was enough hydrogen in the beginning, enough oxygen in the beginning, but as a H2O...
Oh, that's true.
It can come and go.
Right.
But is this humidity, does it have a particular message or consciousness or value to us? The more the better?
Well, no, it's not the more the better. There's a certain limit, right? And it's not the less the better also. Because...
What is an ideal humidity for us humans?
Maybe like 30%.
30%? I know when your lungs hurt from some inflamed problem that sometimes we put our humidifiers in there and set them at 50%.
Right. I think, I mean, for your regular everyday life, I think maybe 50% is like too much.
Okay, so it's like 30% is the average. And are they telling us that? They're giving you that sense?
Kind of. But you're also saying, it depends on the person. Some people require more water in them. Some people require less, too.
So can drinking water or the water we're breathing through the humidity, can that help us? I'm assuming it can help us health-wise, because we all know, we've heard the message a billion times now, you drink more water, drink more water, drink more water. But for the most part, does it have a specific role in helping us like shift consciousness or expand our energy beyond the health roles?
Yeah, this goes back to the tired water and the not so tired water, and the water that could be almost 10 out of 10, right?
Okay.
So
like spring water.
Yeah.
Real spring water from the source.
Right.
At the source.
Right. Or water that has been had something done to it. Like, say,
thoughtfully regenerated?
Somebody has performed Reiki on some water.
Oh, Reiki on it.
Yeah. If you're just talking in terms of regular physiology, we're not talking about raising consciousness. The regular tap water, 3 out of 10, 4 or 5 out of 10. That will keep you borderline healthy. Okay.
So this is why people go to great lengths to augment their water.
Yes.
Add electrolytes, buy spring water.
Exactly.
Add hydrogen molecules to it.
Right. If you do that stuff, you're kind of increasing the energy of the water.
What about something like Gatorade?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay. But that's how some people get their electrolytes.
Right, but there's also sugar in there.
And dyes.
And what?
Dye, D-Y-E.
Oh, yeah, dyes too. Yeah, right, okay.
Right. And those things aren't good, so they counter the value of the electrolytes.
Right. In terms of consciousness expanding, right? It's like, if you want to do this effectively with water, you will have to get a water source or make your source of water into a 10 plus.
10 plus.
10 plus.
So Reiki, words on the water.
Yeah, words on the water, getting it from a really pure spring where it doesn't have to be transported to you, not in plastic bottles.
Okay, so that's relatively hard to do on this earth anymore because many, many water tables are dropping, springs are drying up, and all major cities have lost all of that access. There was a company in D.C. that brings water in from Colorado called Mountain Valley Spring Water. What was that on a scale of 1 to 10?
4 or 5.
Really? Interesting. So spring water on tap in Pennsylvania is at a 7 is higher than that. And then you could perform Reiki on it. By the way, that was dirt cheap. It was $1 for 5 gallons. So it wasn't expensive. What would the water need specifically? Could we set up like a Reiki master on municipal water to get it a 10 plus?
Yeah, you could. I'm just wondering how many people you need to do that. I don't think you need very many. You just need one person, actually.
For the entire water system?
Yeah.
Now,
I'd be kind of curious.
So would the person just do it out of the goodness of their heart, and would it last forever? Because the water is constantly being remade.
Okay. Well, this is just me thinking how you could set it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you just, you call in the Reiki, and you ask it to actually go to, you don't have to have visited it, or you don't have to really know what it looks like. Go to DC's municipal water source
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just set it in motion and tell it to keep going.
And it would work.
Theoretically, it should.
Theoretically. What would be really interesting to do would be one way to maybe raise the health and wellness overall of the population of a city.
Right.
I wonder if there's any Reiki person who wants to set that up.
I could set it up.
If you can set it up and get it to work, I'll start drinking DC tap water again.
But how would we know, though? See, I know that you can test water after you've done Reiki on it, and it does look different, like in terms of...
Yeah, so basically, you know how we all have these...
And it tastes different, too.
So, so the water in the air, it doesn't carry that lower vibration, or does it? Is it affected by the pollution, by the energy in the room, or is it actually the one in charge of the energy in the room and the energy in the area?
No, it's not in charge. It's not until it unites, that's when it starts to be able to do more.
So as water vapor, it really doesn't do much. It's just there.
It's there.
When we breathe it in, that's when it unites, because in our body, it's actually taken the form of water.
Right. But of course, I mean, if it's not there in terms of vapor, then something's wrong with the whole process.
Right.
Too.
Of course, it'd be an extreme imbalance.
Yeah. So it's kind of necessary.
It's a necessary part of air.
Right.
We're not just breathing oxygen ever, unless it's really unhealthy. And that's why I guess in some areas where it's so cold that you can't even have vapor in the air because it'll all freeze.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a lot of people they probably have adjusted if they've lived there for millennia, but it sometimes can be hard in the winter when you've got heat sources drying out the air.
Right, yeah.
Too much. Salt water, the ocean water, does it have anything to say or offer us, or is there like what does it want us to know? Or they?
Okay, well, they're kind of like salt water is a different category.
Right.
Because it's got lots more stuff in it. And it's kind of like enhanced replica of the human body.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it can actually cure a lot of things.
So when you're hanging out in the water, you really feel good.
Right. Yeah. You're absorbing all these nutrients.
Mm.
You're not drinking the salt water. You're absorbing them through your skin and
down your nose and your ears.
Right. Yeah. Does that mean we should be, doing more with seawater?
Well, I don't know. Does it? Because a lot of people have always been drawn to beaches and swimming and getting in the water. It's almost zombie-like. They use the excuse because it's hot, but it does help if the seawater's not really cold to just get in it and spend time in it, right?
Right. But there's kind of like a delicate balance because of all the salt.
Oh, you don't want to be in it too much?
You don't want too much salt.
And that's
going to dehydrate you.
Oh. Yeah, so someone that spends too much time in the water...
in salt water.
In salt water, they can become very dehydrated.
Right. That would not be good for them.
So what about fresh water? If fresh water was warm in the lakes, could you swim there all day and it wouldn't dehydrate you? Just make it pruny.
Yeah.
That's what the water is saying, the fresh water is saying, come on in?
Yeah, it wouldn't. But again, there's some kind of balance there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't know, it's like our skin would have to be different if we were to spend more time in the water.
Right, because you can tell when it's pruning you up that something's not going right.
Right. So that's why drinking water is kind of like the perfect balance.
Does the water have anything to say about how much we should drink?
They're saying drink as much as possible.
Like a gallon a day?
But they're also saying don't drink too much.
Well, I see. That's very, very helpful information. So as much as you can. So try to drink a lot of water, and if you feel like you drank enough, stop.
Yeah.
Use a little personal discretion.
Right. I mean, if somebody tells you you should be drinking 12 to 15 glasses of water a day, and you don't feel like it, don't feel that you actually have to do that.
And this could be Diana talking, because I think someone's told her that recently, and she doesn't feel like doing it.
No, I do it.
Oh, you try?
Yeah.
You try to do it?
I mean, they didn't say 12 to 15. They said like 10.
Uh-huh.
But this is the water also. It's like with the vegetables, right? It's a relationship between the individual and, well, not discrete water entities, because there's no discrete water entity like vegetables, but just it's a relationship between water, the type of water, and the person who's drinking it.
And also maybe the inhabitants of the water, if you're talking about seawater or lake water, there's a lot of fish in there that could be happy or unhappy, and maybe they're affecting it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
But hopefully you're not really drinking water which has a lot of inhabitants in it. You know.
Well, if it's live spring water, there's bound to be something in it. But I'm talking about, yeah, so I hear what you're saying.
Drinking water that has, where fish are swimming in it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that would not be.
What if you pulled your bucket of water out of the lake and boiled it? What do they think of that?
They're saying that's okay, right? Because there could be pathogens in there too, right? There's a whole other aspect with regards to pathogens in the water and how do you get rid of them and still preserve the energy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, boiling or chlorine has been the standbys for a long time.
Right. Isn't there now another way? Like UV light?
UV light. Do they like that?
They're saying that, that's kind of like the cleanest way to do it.
It's a UV light.
UV light.
Better than boiling and better than chlorine.
But they're also saying that perhaps, if you get water that's like 10 plus, somehow the energy obliterates the pathogens.
Right. That's the same with a lot of other substances too.
So the trick though is, to get water to be at that level.
Yeah. I mean, so would it be really helpful for people to pursue getting water at that 10 plus level? Or is it something that, like not eating pork, if you're called to do it, it's really important?
Well, they're saying everybody could benefit from this.
Okay.
I mean, even people who wouldn't be able to do anything to increase the energy of their water, if they get water that's energized a little bit, that will help them in little increments.
Okay. Do we want to do another tasting of our waters and see if they've changed, because the tap water now has the Reiki added to it? Does the water want to speak and say what is now? What
I can't remember if I started the Reiki on the water.
Oh no, we might have to pause here, do the Reiki, come back. Well, ask the water, did it get the Reiki?
Okay, the tap water says, kind of. What did the Reiki guides say? Okay, they're saying they just energized the water.
Just instantly. So we should taste it again, see if it's... Well, I want to ask it first, though. What is it? What is the tap water now?
What is it?
Yeah.
A 7. 7, 8.
7, 8. And that's for both of them, with the heart and without the heart. So the heart's kind of a non sequitur at this point. And did they do the spring water too?
Yeah.
And what is
9, 10.
9, 10. And the one in the flowers, is that?
It's also 9, 10.
So they're all 9, 10.
Yeah. There's a difference between starting with tap water and
Spring water, right.
Right. But these minor differences don't really matter.
And we weren't able to get a 10 plus out of it. Is the art class 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is there anything we can do to make it a 10 plus?
This is kind of interesting. And I don't know if I'm getting this just because it seems like there's kind of like this pinkish glow coming from the bottom, because it looks like there's the bottom of the art glass is a pinkish red. But it's...
Is it the symbol? It's concentric circles in the bottom of this.
No, it's the color.
It's the colors that's changing it.
The color, okay, because it's like...
There's white in there too. There's like an orange, a pinkish red, and a...
Right. So
white.
Anyway, there's... if you want to get rid of kind of like negative energies in yourself, you think of this pinkish purplish flame starting at your feet and surrounding you, and it just sort of like makes all the negative energies sort of like go up in smoke and steam.
And that water's telling you that?
It's kind of like doing something similar.
Oh. The colors in the glass. So it's not specifically that it's art glass, it's that it has those specific colors.
But it's art glass too. It's
okay.
Like both things. But you asked about the 10 plus.
Yeah.
And it's the pinkish kind of like purplish flames that this color is generating. That's getting rid of more negative stuff in the water, thereby increasing the vibration.
Oh, very interesting. And what about the flowers? Is there like I'm wondering if we took like a St. John's wort, like switched the flower, that had the potential to knock it into a plus.
Yeah, I mean, it's saying like 14, 15.
With the St. John's wort.
Mm-hmm. Or any of the flower images.
Wow. So that's been sitting there a while, because before it was 7.5.
Right.
And now with the Reiki and the flowers and sitting there a while, it's all the way up to like a 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the water I'll drink. You can drink the rest.
This is very strange.
Well, we asked. What about... So the other three are 8, 9. Or did they change?
No, they were like 9, 10.
9, 10. Okay. Yeah. And the art glass...
Oh, but the art glass, because it's got this... That's 10 plus.
That's 10 plus. And the flowers have changed this one.
10 plus, but not 14, 15.
Mm-hmm. For those of you that are wondering what's going on, Diana spilled her art water.
Yeah, the 10 plus water.
the 10 plus, but not the 14, 15. And she also destroyed our list.
He'll dry out, right?
No, it's water-based inks.
Oh, well.
Not too bad. Actually, they're not smearing too bad.
So did you taste all the waters?
I did. Yeah, I had to honestly say my least favorite was the plain tap water, even with the Reiki. And in the second round, because they might have been more pronounced different, that still tasted a lot like chlorine to me. Mm-hmm. Like whatever was happening might be higher vibrating, but the chlorine was omnipresent in my taste buds, or chloramine, or whatever I'm tasting.
Yeah.
What did you think?
The tap water did taste a little different than previously.
Right.
Okay. But I didn't notice that much difference between the small glass and the large glass of the tap water.
Mm-hmm. So the art water, again, tasted smooth, and this one, the flower water, tasted smooth to me.
Both the same smoothness?
No, but close. This one might have been a little bit more smooth this time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the flower water been a little more smooth.
And it seemed to taste more potent. Actually.
Yeah.
And then the large and the small glass of just the regular spring water kind of tasted the same.
All right, so this was a good experiment with all these waters without really putting anything in them.
We didn't put anything in them.
No, but if you added a flower to them, knowing what we know that flowers carry a certain very high vibration to them, if you added a flower to them, or if you added a piece of mint or a squirt of fresh lemon, would that help raise the vibration?
Definitely. I mean, we saw what it did just with pictures.
Okay. So you could use
But
pictures.
you got to make sure that's organic flowers,
Right. Organic happy flowers.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Right. Don't pick a flower that's ready to turn into a seed, like an old flower where the vibrations have moved to a different area of the process of the plant.
Right.
The pictures in this book are really capturing the consciousness of the flower and freezing it, and so you can use them like that if it's in a deep winter and there's no fresh flowers available.
And they're saying it's like it's almost equivalent, fresh or just
almost equivalent.
Pictures.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, the Reiki gods came in and enhanced it even more.
Yes, they theoretically enhanced everything.
Okay.
And I did notice a difference between the first tasting of everything and then the second tasting of everything.
Right. It's just a damn shame that art water got wasted, though.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. And the Avian is still frozen, still shivering.
Yeah, those poor little water sprites in there. Oh, dear.
So the good news is if you have tap water, you can do some things to raise the vibration of it, the energy of it.
Definitely, yes.
And Reiki being one of them, which, if you take your own Reiki course, you should be able to just do it on your own. Adding a symbol like a heart or something to the water can help.
And then flowers.
And then flowers can help. We didn't try the flowers on the tap water, but I'm assuming they would raise that as well.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And the trace minerals, adding trace minerals to the water, do they like that?
Yeah, they like it. Mm-hmm.
So adding trace minerals before you drink it of some kind. What about like Celtic sea salt? If you put a little pinch of that, that works as a good.
But they're saying, like trace minerals and sea salt, it's like not too much.
Yeah.
Because remember, there's always a balance.
Right. But it's my understanding, if you don't have water with a lot of healthy minerals in it, then it pulls them out of your body. So it can almost like be counterproductive in a way. Because they need, and the municipalities put some minerals in the water, or I don't think it would be palatable at all. But I don't know that they catch enough, and there might be.
Yeah, it's like with bread or cereal, right? They put in what they think are the essential.
Right, and the essential knowledge evolves from time to time.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near sort of like complete.
All right, I think that wraps us up today. It's been very interesting as usual. Thank you, Waters, for being here and being willing subjects in our podcast and sharing all your wisdom and insights. And thank you, Diana.
Well, thank you, Water. Thank you, Karin. Thank you, Waters, I should say.
Yeah, waters. We got 3 different types of waters here, and all the ones we conjured up, like the oceans and the lakes and the rivers.
If you water, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I was freezing it so I could take it as a iceberg in my food bag from time to time, but now I feel bad, but we'll deal with that later. Bye.
Bye.
That's all for this episode of the 1 to 9 podcast. Thank you for listening, and please sign up for our newsletter at 1to9podcast.com.